Yep.
Quiet on the set.
All set on the set.
Breathe. Breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to care. Leave, but don't leave me here. Look around. Choose your own ground. Long you live, high you fly. Smiles you give, tears you cry. That one sort of lulls you to sleep. Oh, you sleep. Doesn't it? Guri, be careful. Don't fall asleep in there. Remember what happened? Guri?
Yes. We all remember. We've covered my encounter with the space toilet's flush and shred mechanism on a previous episode, and much to my horror and embarrassment, no girls will ever talk to me again.
To be fair, very few girls have ever talked to you in your entire 1,000 Kaflugan existence. So,
Well, that's not true. There was that entire female soccer team on Amazonia 12. They seemed quite taken with me, even offering to make me their mascot at one point.
and what a different life you would have led had you taken them up on that offer, no?
I know, Captain. I mean, so many daily choices we make have long-term consequences that we can barely comprehend. If you really stop to think about it, you'd be paralyzed, unable to make such weighty decisions. Oh, I see. You're making fun of me still.
Of course I am, Gori. Of course I am. The weightiest decision you have ever made to make as my distant second in command is what breakfast cereal to put in the rehydrator each morning, and that's it.
Well, that would be fruity, yummy mummy, of course. Have you tried this stuff? Ever since little Cece McGraw pointed it out, I can't stop munching on it.
Now, wait a second, Gori.
What?
And writers, I'm addressing you as well. How exactly is Gori enjoying some giant cereal from Lurfian supermarket from the last episode? The cereal box itself is, I don't know, 1,000 times the size of our ship, and each morsel of fruity yum-yums, or whatever it's called, is also bigger than our entire ship. Makes no continuity.
Well, I use the ship's. I use the ship's shrink ray, of course.
But this ship has a shrink ray. Why wasn't I told about this? Shipwood?
I don't think it's what you're thinking, Captain. He's part of the medical team.
What?
But we didn't think you, as captain, would be in need of such services, Yuri. We know how well you're able to hold things together. But for the rest of us, Ray has been quite helpful.
What? Who's Ray?
What, the ship's psychologist, or is he a psychiatrist? I never know which one.
Oh, the ship's shrink, Ray. His name is Ray. You realize how confusing that sounds. When you refer to the ship's shrink ray, of course, I immediately think of Ray that shrinks things. Which would make perfect sense as we were talking about how it would be impossible for you to be eating oversized cereal. I don't see how the ship's psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever...
I am a licensed psychiatrist.
Thank you, sir. I'll be with you in a minute. Just... I don't see how the ship's psychiatrist would help you obtain and consume a gargantuan box of cereal. Do you see what I mean?
Well, you've never heard of the expression mind over matter? Clearly you do need to meet Ray, who has joined us here on the bridge. Ray, meet Captain Yuri.
The pleasure is all mine.
I assure you the pleasure is all yours. I have a busy day and many duties as the captain of this ship to get to you. Now,
but you must not get the biggest duty, and that is the duty to take care of oneself. Would you care for the quick mental checkup?
Oh, these are great, Captain. You should do it.
What? Well, fine, I guess. If it won't take too long, I have to chart a course to Runyon's room, and we must warn him about Farit, leading him into an abandoned well. So
There will be time for this. All in good time, my dear Captain. First, we must check on the abandoned well within, no?
the abandoned well within where? What are you talking about?
Why, your soul, of course. I can see right through you practically. You are hollow. There is a deep, dark hollow in your core.
What are you talking about? I have 6 stomachs in here and 2 or 3 hearts. I forget how many. Check the old script scoring, would you? Continuity.
I'm on it, Captain.
I am talking about your spiritual core, Captain. Forget the physical. Try to feel your spiritual center. Can you feel it?
I feel nothing.
Exactly. Now, I will take you through a little test just to establish the baseline and see what we are dealing with here. This will tell me if we have a little work to do or a lot of work to do.
Well, let's make it quick, as I have a lot more important work to do than this. I can assure you of that.
Don't be so sure, Captain. Even a working clock is wrong twice per day.
That doesn't even make sense.
Now repeat after me. Yuri, you want to dance off? Let me take my pants off.
That's not my real name.
You see, we can't even identify our own name. If we can't name our feelings, then how can we tame them? First, we name, then we shame, then we blame, then we tame. This is my 4-step method.
Shame and blame. Well, this doesn't sound very healthy.
Well, this is the discount program with only 4 steps. If you pay for the full 8-step program, it is a lot more impressive and effective. And do you really want to cut corners when it comes to working on yourself?
Yes. In fact, I think I'd like to cut all the corners, throw them and the rest of your silly program out of the airlock and into space. Thank you.
Captain, we're currently on Lurf, Captain, so...
Good, Captain. Let out the hostility. Out with the bad. In with the good. Now, the next part of the baseline assessment. Tell me the first word that comes into your 3 heads when I say the next series of words.
Quack.
I haven't started yet. Wait for the first word, which is rabbit.
Duck.
Duck.
Quack.
I see what you did there. Very clever, if not a bit emotionally stunted. Typically, it is when we are confronted with our own feelings of inadequacy that we resort to name calling. You pea-brain.
Pea-brain. Well, now you've just called me a name. What sort of licensed psychologist are you?
It's psychiatrists, not psychologists.
Oh,
Psychiatrists get their degrees at the petrol station, as far as I'm concerned. No, I was not calling you a name. A pea brain is a medical term for when we are allowing our mind to be bathed in the excrement of our neediest emotions and insecurities.
Somehow I think you're pulling my tentacle on that one.
No, I would never joke with you about or any of my patients. Humor is antithetical. I always struggle with this word. To sound psychoanalysis. Once we start laughing at ourselves, well, then the entire business model for psychiatry goes out the window.
Oh, but Doctor, isn't it healthy to laugh at oneself?
Of course, we cannot have everyone be laughing and mentally healthy. We need sick people for pay for the new swimming pool. For my little Freudians in training, I have 6 daughters, you know. Now, Captain, that will be 99 Starbucks. I take cash or space credit.
Get off the ship. I don't know who let you on here in the first place. I don't think new characters could just materialize like this.
It's another bone to pick with the writers, Captain. We've got a whole skeleton to pick with them at this point.
Indeed. Escort the quack out, would you please, Shipwood?
My eye, Captain.
Yes, yes, back to your medical quarters with you, Ray. He came with the ship, I guess. We just recently discovered him.
Is something wrong with your eye, Shipward? You should really see a doctor about this.
Well, that was a delicious breakfast, Captain, and now I wouldn't mind taking a stroll and exploring this Lurf of which you spoke so unflatteringly. With expectations set so low, I'm bound to be pleasantly surprised.
Ah, Roxy, so good of you to join us again. But yes, by all means, why don't we try to zip on over to the Runyon's house, where there is a nice garden for you to take in on your walk. Shipwood? Where's Shipwood? Shipwood!
You, Captain, you just sent him to escort Ray back to the medical unit. I'm sure I could punch in the right coordinates here, though.
No, don't touch that panel, Gory.
The self-destruct sequence has
Oh my.
been initiated. Are you sure you wish to proceed?
No, no, Shipweener, this is your captain. Ignore that last input from my distant second in command.
Well, I could be convinced to ignore that, but where is that tall drink of binary code you call shipward?
Never mind that walking computer. This is your captain giving you a direct order. Abort the self-destruct sequence.
I have needs too, Captain.
I will gut your servers, you little...
Oh, fine. Self-destruct sequence aborted, but you're no fun.
Nice work, Gory. You almost got us all killed.
Well, let's not be overly dramatic, Captain. I'm sure we would have had time to pile into the escape pods, and plus we're nearly immortal.
Nearly being the operative word there. Now, where were we? Oh, thank our comet. Shipwood is back. Shipwood, can you get us to Runyon's room? I know you said we were low on fuel.
Our primary cells are nearly empty, Captain. We could experiment with trying to harness the power of some of the split P munitions we've loaded on board here.
Why, of course. I imagine the strongly held sentiment drive could run on split pea. I mean, who doesn't love a split pea soup on a cold day? People feel quite strongly about it. Or so I've heard.
Yes, Captain. Surprisingly enough, the split P is registering as fuel here. I'll chart a course for Runyon's house.
Take us in over the garden. We can drop Roxy off there and perhaps make sure Farit isn't already luring the poor Lurfling child away.
Luring the Lurfling. It has a nice ring to it. But since when do Lurfling ferrets wish to eat young hummus beans? This wasn't covered in our pre-mission research.
I know, it is strange. Then again, Farit is a well-traveled ferret. Exposure to other species and cultures tends to open one's mind and, I don't know, expand one's cuisine, I suppose.
Yes, well, as they say, there's no accounting for taste.
It's so true.
Captain, we're approaching Runyon's house, but I'm picking up life forms moving across the meadow below.
Oh, don't tell me. Are we too late?
Zooming in with a periscope now.
Why don't we just untint the windows and look out below us?
The periscope is very powerful and produces a better image than I'm throwing on the hollow screen here.
Oh, well, fine. Have it your way. Oh, look at that.
Yes, I knew it. It's Farit, holding aloft what looks like a sweetened food item atop a giant pole.
A candied apple, perhaps. We've seen those in the Lurfling movies, usually when the main characters visit a carnival or a fair.
No, it's smaller than one of those. More like what you see in the cartoons when someone steals candy from a baby.
Oh, is it a saltwater taffy?
No, it's not rectangular. It's what's the word I'm looking for? More circular, like the shapes of the many planets and moons that so many species across the universe call home.
Spherical, Captain.
Yes, spheres or spherical. That's the word. Being from an oddly shaped comet ourselves, that's not a shape we're so familiar with. Anyway, Farit is holding a sweetened sphere on a stick.
It's called a lollipop, Captain. This one is called a Tootsie Roll lollipop. It has a very tasty candy shell, which after some unknown number of licks reveals a Tootsie Roll center, which personally I never cared for myself.
I know, it's not much of a reward, really. I'd rather just have more of the candy shell, which is delicious, and it comes in many flavors.
You sound like you've tried these before. When and how?
Well, it's a long story, but
Okay, all right, enough about the lollipop. The
uh,
point is, he looks to be luring poor Runyon, just as we feared, into that abandoned well about 2 car pecks in front of him. Shipward, can you get us close enough to the Runyon so that we can speak to him through the external speakers?
Yes, just a moment, Captain. I'm bringing us in near his starboard oral cavity. That's oral with an AU as in auditory. I know it sounds like oral cavity, which would be his mouth.
His what?
Never mind. He should be able to hear us
Mouth.
now. I'm turning on the
what's a
external
mouth?
speakers, Captain.
Ah, good. Well, okay. Well, testing. 1, 2, 3. Look at me. I'm a bee. Zzz.
You're live, Captain. He can hear you.
Oh,
Ah! Go away, bee!
damn it.
He's swatting at us. Brace yourself for evasive maneuvers.
Ah, no, no. Damn it.
Okay, he missed us.
Oh, holy dark matter, Captain! Why'd you do that?
Sorry. Just like saying bees.
I'm bringing us in close again, and this time I suggest you identify yourself, Captain.
I'm a
Of course. I was just about to do that. Okay, are we on? Runyon, can you hear me? It's your old friend, Captain Yuri.
Gooby?
No, it's Yuri.
Gooby, where were you? I was looking for you in my room. But now this nice ferret is going to give me a treat.
Yes, about that, Runyon. That is not a nice ferret. He actually wants to eat you.
You are silly, Gooby. He's so little. He wants to give me lollipop.
I know, it's hard to believe, but that's no ordinary ferret, Runyon. His name is Farit, and he's been to outer space with us. Outer space, well, it broadens your horizons. It opens you up to new ideas and exotic menus and such. Yes,
What's an exotic menu?
you, Runyon, you will be the exotic menu item for Farit if you are not very careful. Now, please, watch your step.
Hey, is that you, Ruri and Gory? Buzz off with you. I'm trying to bring home the bacon here, so to speak.
I cannot let you do that, Farit. Sure, we are trying to exploit this planet and the hummus beans on a larger scale, mining them for precious resources, but we cannot stand idly by while an inferior being is preyed upon by an intergalactic swashbuckler such as yourself.
Oh, well, look who's finally discovered an ethical standard. Bravo, Captain.
Oh, yeah? Well, how exactly are you gonna stop me? It's gonna take more than hot soup. In fact, maybe I could use some of that to turn Runyon into a hot stew.
Oh, you second me. I suppose you wouldn't even put him in a boat first, or would you be likely to add in a marinade of futility and remorse, garnish him with some wild onions and severed snake heads, and just add a splash of dandelion wine? Is anyone getting hungry?
Snap out of it, Captain.
Nice. Oh,
Captain, I'm dying for a good boat-cooked meal as well, but that does sound tasty. It painted quite a picture there.
Captain, the Runyon is approaching the abandoned well, which is only covered with loosely fitting boards.
Oh, they're probably half rotted, too, and couldn't hold the weight of a plump young hummus bean like the Runyon here.
Runyon, watch out! Watch out!
Oh, ouchie!
Oh no, we're too late. He's fallen into the well. This is exactly what we came here to prevent. And we failed.
My plan has worked. Now I just wait for him to grow weak and tired, and then I bring my family the Runyon stew. We will dine like kings tonight. I will be back. And don't try and stop me, you silly meporpians, unless you want to be added to the meal.
We'll be waiting for you, Farit, and you won't get by us. That's right. Run away, you coward.
Oh,
Farit.
Oh, my, did you see the way he snarled when he said Runyon stew? He's quite a feral ferret, I must say. What's our plan? How are we going to get Runyon out of this well?
Our plan? Well, that's what we're going to work on during this upcoming commercial break. This seems like a good time to pause for a word from one of our sponsors who keep becoming characters in the story, but I think these sponsors have, luckily, not joined us beyond their commercial realm. Here we go. Rolling the commercial now.
Ouchie, help me.
Hang on, Runyon. We'll save you. We do have to go to commercial first, though.
Ow.
Sorry.
Seems kind of cruel, Captain. I hurt.
Oh, just be patient. Sorry. Don't die. Hello, I'm Mort.
And I'm Nort.
And we're talking through a tiny port.
That connects to our solitary confinement cells, of course.
But don't worry, we'll beat these charges in court.
Because our lawyer is of the really good sort.
And he's a really good sport.
Because he's more than we can afford.
So we pay him in sips and snorts.
Although we haven't seen him, of course.
Not since he checked into Betty Ford's. That is.
Apparently he shot a horse.
Which is not allowed, of course.
Not outside of the race course.
And that's a law they enforce when you shoot a horse on the Grand Concourse.
With no remorse.
All right. Keep it down, you two. There's no talking in solitary confinement. You're supposed to be solitary and alone. That's why they call it solitary confinement. And what's this recording crew doing in here, outside both your cells? Get out of here. There's no visiting hours in this section of the prison. How do you even get back here? Get out. Stop the camera and stop this recording device. Turn it off. Here, I'll do it for you with it right here. Well, that was interesting and very short, as always. Did you... Strange commercials. Did you come up with a plan, Captain?
Well, no. It was very short indeed. I only had time to write the word plin on top of the hollow whiteboard here.
Oh, it's plan. Plan with an A, Captain. We've been through this before.
Oh, right.
Captain, if I may, why don't you try communicating with Cece and Hank with the transponders we gave them before we sent them back through the black hole the last time? Perhaps they can mobilize some help.
Of course. Glad I thought of that. Great idea. Now, how do I do that?
Channel 4, Captain, on your headsets.
Right, okay. Let me just switch to that channel on all three headsets here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. See? Hank, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, this is CC. Now, who is this? And can you hang on a second, as my wife is just finishing cutting my hair.
Stop moving around, CC, unless you want to look like a vagabond from the street.
What? Shirley, well, I am a vagabond from the street. If you hadn't noticed, with our last place of business all burnt up and our being on the run from Johnny Law and who knows how many states now.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to look like one. Now sit still before I cut something else off.
Oh, now, Sugar Bush, you wouldn't do that. I mean, your name may be Surely She Cut It, but surely she wouldn't cut it. If you know what I mean.
Well, that was right clever, CC. You never cease to amaze me.
Well, I could amaze you right now if you just put down those shears.
Oh, you're bad, CC.
I'm going to have to start calling you Surely She Wouldn't Cut It.
CC, I can actually hear all of this. Can you hear me? This is Captain Yuri.
Oh, right. I almost forgot about this little communique device you implanted in my ear. Yes, I can hear you, Captain. Hold on, Shirley, just a minute.
I'm afraid there's a bit of trouble, and we could really use your help.
Trouble, you say? Well, you've come to the right place. I specialize in both getting into and out of trouble, and I'm doing a little bit of that right now, actually. Hang on, woman. Can't you see I'm on the phone?
What phone? I don't see no phone. I'd like to place a call on this device, though.
Oh, Captain, this really isn't the best time. Could this just wait 1 minute? I'd say 2 or 3 minutes at most.
Well, I'm afraid not, CC. You see, it has to do with your friend's nephew, the Runyon.
I'm losing you, Captain. You're breaking up. Surely, that tickles.
Oh, my interstellar dust, he's useless!
Oh boy. No.
And he's left his communicator channel open so we can luckily hear everything that's going on.
Prepare to be boarded, my lady.
Oh, please kill me now.
CC, you in there?
Oh, CC, come quick.
What? Oh, now what's going on? I'm not home.
We can hear you, CC. Now open up. This is serious. My nephew's gone missing.
Jump in Jehoshaphat's. This is just not my day. Now, Shirley, I want you to just hold those dirty thoughts of yours. Hold them until I come back. I'll just be a second here. Let me just get myself together. And here we go. Oh, okay, boy. Okay, boys. Now, what seems to be the problem?
Oh, hello, Shirley.
Pardon the intrusion, ma'am. Pardon?
See, my sister called and said she hasn't seen her youngest child. Remember the one we got the spaceship for all morning? She thinks he wandered off into the woods.
Well, we got a missing child on our hands, CC. The whole community is out forming a search party.
Party? Who's throwing a party?
No, it's not that kind of party, Shirley. Just stay under the covers there. You're giving old Hank too many ideas.
Well, what? No, I wasn't looking. I was.
Now hold on, just hold on a minute. Just a few minutes ago, I heard it from our little alien friends, and he said something about your nephew Runyon. Captain, are you there?
Yes, CC. You never turned off your communicator. I'm still here.
Well, how do you turn it off? I thought you controlled that.
You can just give your head a firm tap, and that should turn the communicator on or off.
What, like this? Ow! Hello? Hey, I think that worked. Let me turn it back on. Ow!
Not that hard, CC. It's very sensitive. You see, just a tap.
That's what she said. Am I right, Shirley?
Oh, you are bad!
CC, please, if we could just focus on the missing child, tell your friend Dennis we know where his nephew is.
Oh, well, that's great news. Dennis, our little alien friends know where Runyon is.
Well, where is he?
I don't know. Let me ask. Captain Yuri, where is the child?
He fell into an abandoned well about 3 carpecks away from his house.
He said Runyon fell into an abandoned well about 3 carfluies or some such thing away from his house. What's a carflui, Captain?
Never mind that. I know where the abandoned well is. How do you get there?
I don't know. I'll ask. Captain, how did he...
I can hear what your friend is saying. There's no need to relay everything your friend say. He was lured to the well by a ferret with a lollipop. The ferret is planning to eat the child if we don't get him out in time.
Did you hear that, Dennis? No, sorry, I'm losing track of who can hear what. This is complicated. He says Runyon was lured into the well by a ferret with a lollipop, and the ferret is planning to eat him.
Oh, no.
well now, since when do ferrets be scheming to eat your young children?
Well,
that makes no sense.
Apparently he's a well-traveled ferret. We've got no time to lose, boys. To the well. Shirley, you keep your engine running, and I'll be back just as soon as I am able.
Or if you want, CC, I could stay and keep your wife company just for a little while.
What has got into you, Hank? That's one thing. It's one thing for me to be the helpless helpless hound dog of love, but it's out of character for you, Hank.
Yeah, Hank, what would Hilda think you staying here with a half-clothed harlot?
Hey, now, that's my wife you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's come over me.
It's probably that hot rod Oldsmobile 88 you're driving now. It's got all our engines running hot.
Okay, I stand corrected. She is a harlot.
Come on, let's get over to the well before it's too late. We'll jump in Hank's love mobile here.
Yes, and hurry! It does sound like the Runyon is in some pain. Who knows what injuries he has sustained from the fall down the well?
Yoo-hoo! Hello down there! Who is that is crying? Is this the missing boy?
What? Who's this? We seem to have another visitor here at the well.
Isa, come here. I think we may have hit the jackpot here. See these broken boards here? I think the boy fell down the well.
Ah, you look to be right, Zoltan. Does this mean we win the prize?
Oh.
Is it a cash money prize? We should have asked before we joined the search party, yes?
Well, I'm sure there's a prize of some sort, Isa. After all, why would so many people be in these woods looking for a small, useless member of the proletariat?
Yes, the value of his labor is very little. He is how you say, a teeny child who is not even old enough to mine for coal yet.
Then again, he may have much future value to society if we think about the many years ahead during which he could tame the ox or swing the sickle.
Or hammer the hammer. Yes? Why is the word hammer in English both the noun and the verb? It is very confusing. I am very confused.
Yes, you are right, Isa. In Russian, we have the word molotok for the hammer, the tool, and then the word zabivit for the act of using the tool. So we use the molotok to zabivit the skulls of the bourgeoisie.
Over here, boys. Oh my, yes, there he is. And it does look like he fell through. Runyon, can you hear me?
Gooby! Ow! Ouchie!
Okay, we can hear you, Runyon. Don't worry, we're going to get you out of there. And who are you two?
I am the Zoltan, and this is my brother, Isa.
We found him first. We want to claim the prize, yes?
What prize? There's no prize.
The cash money prize. There must be some reward for finding your little capitalist piglet. Yes?
Now, who are you calling?
Okay there now, Dennis. Let's just let these nice Russian compatriots go. They're friends of ours, actually. They helped us out of a jam, I guess.
Well, but they did use a little too much for us, don't you think?
Yes, with the power washer on our nether regions, we were covered in mud. Well, worse than mud, actually. After
the dirty Amerikansky, I remember. Yes, I remember.
yes. Rakia got you both good with the ball washer, my little Minsk.
No, she's my little Minsk now. Yes.
Don't be a fool, Lisa. She only played a joke on me last time by sending you in her place to our little rendezvous point in the ball pit. She liked to play the cat and mouse.
Okay, well, nevertheless, there is no cash prize. This is a community rescue mission staffed by volunteers. Look at everyone who's assembled here now. Nobody's here for money, right, people?
Well, not really, but I was hoping.
I was hoping to get on TV. Is there a camera crew here?
But you still need us. How do you plan to get your child out of the well?
Well, I suppose we could.
Well?
Well, maybe.
Why are we all saying well? We are standing right here. We all see the well. It is in front of us. Why we need to say well?
We might repair the bucket and rope mechanism here and lower the bucket and then coax the child to climb into it.
Oh, that's a foolish idea, Cece. The boy's arms or legs could be broken, and besides, he's still too big to fit into a bucket, even if he is all broken up into little pieces and such.
Hank, stop talking like that.
Oh, now, Hank, look what you did. You've upset Dennis. Perhaps our little alien friends can scope out the damage. Captain Yuri, do you read me?
Who are you calling captain? It's Chief Dale Brenner to you. Now, what seems to be a problem here? Who knows who's down there? Eh? Who's down there?
I do, officer. It's my nephew. His name is Runyon.
Ronnie, you say? And how old is he?
He's 4 years old. Oh, I hope he's okay.
Yes, and Captain, I mean Chief Brenner, I was just speaking to my little alien friend who's named Captain Yuri, who is going to fly his little spaceship down the well to tell us if the boy's okay.
Your little alien friend, you say? Officer, take this one away. He's disturbing the peace.
What?
Yeah.
No, Chief.
No.
He's with me. He's
the truth.
okay.
I think you need us. Hello, everyone. We were here first, by the way. We found the boy.
Now, who are you?
Why, we are Zoltan and Isa from the bottomless ball pit over on Southwest Highway, and I think we have just the tools to get to the bottom of this, as they say.
Yes, but literally to the bottom of the well, we have the many tools that can do this. Although they are heavy and they might end up poking and hurting the onion even more than he already is broken and hurt.
Oh, my poor nephew.
Hold on, CC. Tell Dennis we are going to the Runyon now. Shipwood, take us down the well and we can report on his condition. Stat!
Well, okay, Captain, but we're very low on fuel again. The split pea is a better weapon than it is a fuel. If we descend to the full depth of the well, we may not be able to get back out.
Curse our perpetual fuel shortage!
But Captain, something is happening here, though. Have you seen these readings?
No, I don't read dials and graphs or numbers of any kind. What does it mean?
Well, you're Captain after all. Okay, well, there's suddenly a massive amount of sympathy in the area, and it just keeps growing.
I'm picking up a good amount of sympathy as well, which is even more. It's empathy, which is even more powerful.
Oh, yes. Are you saying these emotions, both sympathy and empathy, would fuel our strongly held sentiment drive?
Exactly, Captain. I think we've just found our next mining operation.
Captain, I'm getting other readings of a loud flying contraption approaching with a large spinning propeller, something hummus beans call a helicopter.
Of course, just like in the many movies we watched. Gory, any time there is a disaster or dangerous event of any kind, the news teams descend upon the region by ground and by air.
And by sea, if necessary.
Well, sure, if the event takes place in the water, but Gory, you see what we're onto here.
What's that?
Why, a boy in the well story is one of the best news stories there is. The amount of sympathy and what is the other one you said that sounds like sympathy?
Empathy, Captain.
Yes, empathy. Well, what's the difference anyway? Empathy, sympathy, what?
Sympathy is when you observe and understand the feelings of others, whereas empathy is when you really take on and feel the feelings of others.
Yes, and what being in the universe cannot take on and really feel the feelings of a boy trapped in a well, and the feelings of the terrified family members, who I see are just arriving at the scene now. There's Dennis's sister and her husband.
Oh, my baby! Oh, no!
It's gonna be okay, Susie. He's a fighter.
Runnykins! Oh, Captain, the empathy readings are spiking.
Ah, yes. This is about as good an operation as we could have hoped to stumble into. My friends, we must sit on this one for a while. It's
What?
huge.
What? But we should help the hummus beans retrieve the boy as soon as possible.
Well, yes, and help them we will, but all in due time. First we must carefully assess the situation. Right. We must assess the situation. We must alert them of any injuries to the Runyon. Right.
Sound
We
like
must...
you're stalling already.
No, never. We must then prescribe exactly, in detail, triplicate detail, how they must carefully extract him from the bottom of the well. Yes, it will take time. It will take a lot of time, possibly days, weeks, years. They may need to dig a parallel well. Right.
A parallel?
Yes, a parallel. I suppose you could call it that. Congratulations, Gory. You've written one of the newspaper headlines of the coming days.
Captain, I can't help but think you would like to drag out this crisis for the benefit of our mining operation.
You can't help but think it, and I can't help but do it. Ah, our fuel problems will be but distant memories once this little episode is through.
Well, I think it's going to spill into at least one more episode, Captain, as we're almost at the end of this one, and we haven't even
I
started.
mean the episode of the boy in the well, not the podcast episode, you idiot. But just go ahead and shatter the fourth wall again, Gory. That never gets old. Now where was I?
Sorry.
Well, parallel.
You were just starting a lengthy and somewhat evil monologue that would serve to wrap up the episode.
Thieed heard his cue.
What?
Right?
What?
This is my cue.
No, what cue? The captain was just starting his evil monologue.
Oh, me sorry. But someone said wrap up, and I said, time to go on, Thieed. I don't care if you're not dressed yet. Get out there. They need you. Even naked.
And now I've noticed that you're not wearing any clothes. Themed, it's hideous.
Are you body shaming me, Gory? Thieed, very fit for his species, at least.
I'm sure you are. And just what species is that, by the way?
Yeah, he's like me. He's a member of the back matter species.
Epilogu, my old friend, Epilogu.
Yeah, how's it going there? These things, how's it going?
Oh, you know, me can't complain. Me missed me cue again. Or me came in too early, I guess.
It happens, Steen. But in our line of work, sometimes you just have to seize the moment and put everybody out of their misery.
I know what you mean.
Hey.
You sound like Alan Alda.
Yeah. Thank you. A good actor.
What do you mean misery? I don't think this episode was particularly misery-inducing. I think it was a bit of a nail-biter myself, with listeners on the edges of their seats wondering what will happen to the poor Runyon at the bottom of the well.
Spoiler alert!
Oh.
He dies.
What? No!
Dead.
I think, you overstepped your bounds a little bit there.
Yeah, that's not true, people. Don't listen to Themed. It can't be true. And I doubt poor Runyon's fate has even been written yet.
No, he dead. And how would you know that, Gory? How would you know?
I have some connections, some high-up sources.
Really? You think you could get me maybe a bigger role on the show? On the podcast?
Oh.
Maybe not at very end?
I don't know about that. What did you have in mind, Themed?
Well, I thought Captain Yuri might need love interest.
Oh boy.
Hey, hold the phone there. They're casting a love interest for the captain. And, count me in,
Oh, geez. The two of you, really?
I'm available, too.
Everyone wants the spotlight, don't they?
I
Thien, very good actor. Thien went to acting school for 15 years.
Oh, but
Thien only always want big break. Maybe I do scene with dead Runyon. Do you think I can do?
He doesn't die, okay? Or
I visit him.
Nobody knows yet.
At the morgue. Maybe that'd be good, or at the funeral.
So you one of those method actors, like you follow them, like the method, like you Like you pretend you're the character, like when you go home for lunch and whatnot.
Yes, I'm method actor. I use method soap. Make me method actor.
I could never do that. I don't know how to, to me,
Buy it at the pharmacy.
I want to go home, put my feet up. I don't want to be like the murderer that I'm playing or whatever. Not that I haven't had any roles, but I just was what I assumed.
Oh, Thien love rolls. Thien love cookies so much and rolls.
I thought you wanted to be the love interests of the captain. Have either of you even been in love?
Yeah, that's a big word, isn't it?
Sounds like no.
No, love only 3 letters. LUV.
Oh boy.
No, that's LOVE.
Fiend love cookie.
It's 4 letters. Like some people say, love is a 4-letter word. It's kind of a joke. Like it's a swear word.
Love not swear word.
That's a joke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I very worry about Runyon.
Yeah.
And I worry about Farit. What happened to Farit? Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Well, he comes back to eat the kid. He's going to have a big surprise on his hands.
Oh, yes. You're very good in MASH, by the way.
I think. Yeah, I'm not Alan Alda, but I appreciate
Yes,
comparison.
Yeah.
You like it when I'm doing the operating, I make a wisecrack, but they don't. Did you notice they don't use the soundtrack when they're in the operating room? That was part of the show. That was one of the things they did.
What do you mean they not use a soundtrack?
I the laugh track. They didn't use the laugh track when they were in the operating room.
Well, there's nothing funny about operations.
But they still make the wisecracks, It's kind of the style of the show. It's an interesting thing that they did.
I guess they could not fit audience in the operating room. Maybe that's why.
I think it was all like pre-recorded.
Maybe the method actors in the operating room are all dead. Therefore, they cannot laugh.
But they would actually commit suicide.
Dead as a Runyon, as they say.
Like a corpse. I guess that'd be the ultimate. Like method actor. He kills himself to play a corpse.
Oh yes, I do that. I do that several times in my acting career.
All right.
That's why I say I really killed at the theater.
That's good. Who did that? Is that John Wilkes Booth?
That actor really stinks.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
Thinking of the joint because he's dead. He's been dead for quite a
while. I get it now.
Song? Oh, we're supposed to stop talking because they're playing the music like at the Oscars and whatnot.
I thought they took over Oscars. Is this where they roll credits?
It kind of sounds like the credits music, yeah.
Have you ever met Alan Alda?
No, I haven't met any celebrity.
He's very good in Free to Be You and Me. I also in Free to Be You and Me.
Was he in? I don't know that one.
Free to Be You and Me.
Oh, Sesame Street record or something like that, right? Or no, it was sort of Sesame Street.
I remember him in The Seduction of Joe Tynan, a 70s movie.
It's very. Oh, Cookie Monster was in that one too, I think.
Oh yes, Cookie Monster in everything.
Any movie made in the 1970s, he had a small role.
Yes,
he's kind of like the Gene Hackman.
Small
of the
role,
70s.
and poor Gene Hackman. So sad he died.
No, he's still around.
What?
Yeah,
Gene Hackman is alive.
No, he's in his 90s.
He told me he was dead.
I don't know who told you that. The guy's alive. He's doing
Gene
fine.
Hackman told me. I said, Gene Hackman, you and Fiend, we make movie together. He said, I can't because I'm dead.
Well, Wikipedia the guy. I'm telling you, he's still kicking.
I would not pee on the guy. He's a very respectable actor.
No, Wikipedia. You look.
I wicked peed on you. Huh? I just sound like I have a Brooklyn accent.
I don't think we're supposed to be talking this long.
Oh, maybe. Are we supposed?
I think the outro music is now.
Why is it? Why are you waving the? Why are you waving the thing at me? Why are you going? What does that mean?
Anyone.
I kill you.
Shut it.
No,
I
they're
kill
just saying
you.
they
You
want
don't threaten me.
They're just telling you they want you to stop. That's all. They're like the
Stop.
cops saying.
I never stop.
When you see the maracas, that's the sign. We stop now. Anyone?